Okay, it's now Sunday, and we just left Chris's church. Very good service, and we're now headed to lunch to a place called Fried Green Tomatoes.
Yep.
Here in Warner Robins. So I'm curious to check this out. He said it's really good. If it's not, then well, we will.
They can't. We'll go somewhere else. I almost said, well, I'll cook, but no, I can't cook.
Okay, apparently this must be it.
Yep.
He said it's a former Crystal at Southern Home Cooking Cafeteria.
Yep.
So we're gonna
Fast and friendly service inside. Come on in.
Alright. Okay, here's my meal at Fried Green Tomatoes. Meatloaf. Good
Their
food.
namesake.
Okay, so Chris is taking us to a place called Buc-ee's. I've never been to one of these. I've heard of them. I know they're popular further south than where we live, but apparently it's one of the world's largest gas stations.
There's about 200 pumps, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 100 pumps.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, between 100 and 200 pumps.
And there it is right there.
Yeah, it's funny. I told Billy and I told my mom when I brought her over here. You see that off in the distance, what looks like a bridge overpass? That's Buc-ee's. My mom was like, "You're kidding." So, and it's right by the interstate. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, inside there's a huge. It's like a gas station, but it's like multiply that.
Yeah.
Times 100.
And if I had my camera glasses, I'd show you guys inside, but just seeing the outside is pretty impressive as well.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it is a busy place, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how many people trying to get in here.
Yeah, no semis. You can see. No.
I'm glad you're driving.
Yeah, especially here. This is. Some people know how to stop sign. Some people don't know how to stop sign.
I learned that when I was 2.
I should have stayed in the other lane. Oh well.
And here's Buc-ee's up close.
The Big Beaver.
Okay, we're going to take a quick look at Chris's expansive DVD and VHS collection.
Yeah, this is only some of the VHSs that are out. A lot of them are on the front porch in a tub, which we'll show you later. But this is just some of the cream of the crop of the VHS collections. Of this one that has a label coming off. Here, let me turn the light on.
Oh, I was going to suggest that.
Yep. It's a little dark. There we go.
Because this camera doesn't do good in low light.
Well, this one here, my dad did. It's Johnny Carson's Last Week as host of The Tonight Show. It has his final 4 shows. As you know, Johnny usually took Mondays off and let Jay Leno host. And so this is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday show. And part of the intro is cut off on each. Because for some reason Dad,
Wasn't quick enough.
Well, no, he would set the VCR timer to like a minute or two after the show began.
Oh, yeah.
Because, he figured the intro was the same every time, so...
Yep, a lot of people did that back in the day.
Oh, yeah. But this has all 4 shows with the original commercials from 1992, and as far as I know, it still plays good. I haven't played it in a long time, so...
Yeah, I remember you sent me a DVD copy of it when we first met, actually.
Yeah, and I still have the original tape to this day.
I finally get to see it in person.
Oh, yeah. Now, this one I haven't talked about yet. This is The Sound of Music.
Oh.
Now, I didn't keep it because because I was a fan of Julie Andrews. I'm not. At least I think that's who's starting in. Julie Andrews?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of I don't like the movie, but I do like the commercials.
Of course, yeah, that's the best part of these.
This was aired in the 80s on NBC.
Mm-hmm.
And so this has the commercials that were on that telecast that night. I want to say it was late 80s.
Yeah.
I think 88 or something, but I think it was also one of the last times they showed it. I'm not sure. There'll probably be someone on YouTube that will come into the comments and say, The Sound of Music was last aired in 1997 or something like that.
Well, it seems like I do have a tape somewhere at home of a NBC airing of that from like January of 1990, but...
Oh, okay. Yeah, so, but yeah, that was from the 80s. These two, this is Land of the Lost, 6 hours of Land of the Lost. Now, Land of the Lost, for those of you that don't know, it was a TV show back in the 70s, and later was remade in the 90s, but this was the 70s version. And now this was recorded when they reran it on Sci-Fi Channel, 1994, and it has the commercials that aired that day too. And there was something else I was going to say about it, but yeah. Yeah, Land of the Lost was a TV show that basically it was a family that was on an expedition, and then they somehow got into they went back in time somehow.
Yeah.
To dinosaurs, and they were stuck, and they were trying to find a way home. So, and this tape, pardon me. In that Land of the Lost, I have the complete series on DVD.
Yeah.
But I still can't get rid of that tape because it's just too precious.
Of course.
It's from my childhood. Now, on this tape, has some dust. It says, you can barely make it out, Power Rangers on it, which is what was on it back in the 90s until around the late 90s, but now there's Christmas specials that were taped off of Fox Family.
Oh.
From either 97 or 98, and it has the commercials that aired with it as well. And some of these commercials from this tape are actually on, quick plug, my Chrismaster1 channel on YouTube. Go subscribe. About 800 people have done it. More than my main channel, believe it or not. My secondary YouTube channel, bigger than my main channel.
Yes.
So, but, I mean, I guess people like commercials. But, yeah, and also, this one has, I believe, part of an episode of the series Flash. The Flash from the early 90s.
Yeah, for like 91, I think. Mm-hmm. So I remember you sending me a copy of it.
Oh, yeah, and the cream of the crop on this one is The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. And then it has the monologue and the Karnak sketch.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
From 91 as well. So, early 91.
Yeah.
It also has the intro for The Simpsons. That was on at the time on the Fox station. Well, actually, no. We didn't get... Well, yeah, we did have a Fox affiliate in Macon. Yeah. No, we didn't.
We'll never know.
No, I the WP, because WPGA before '96 was the Fox affiliate. It didn't sign on until around 94, 95, something like that, I think.
Yeah.
And then in '96, them and WGXA did a swap, an affiliate swap. WGXA became Fox, WPGA became ABC. WPGA now is an independent station, sort of. It's has MeTV and a couple of other sub-affiliates. So, here's a couple I didn't show you the other night. I'll let you see.
Rock with Barney. Oh, so basically Barney.
Yep. And this... Now, my grandmother... made the second one, the bottom one, the top one looks like my dad's handwriting.
Yeah.
But the bottom one, my grandmother made. She knew that me and my cousin loved Barney.
Yeah.
When we were kids.
Yeah.
And so she taped a bunch of episodes, and they're on that tape. And I've been trying to make a copy of it, but for some reason, like some copyright protection thing.
Huh.
So,
yeah.
Haven't found a way yet. I may find a way soon, but... Alright. And these are some of the cream of the crop. This is some Christmas specials. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Charlie Brown Christmas, and Winnie the Pooh and Christmas 2. And it also has Garfield Christmas on here. And an episode of a series called The Promised Land. If you don't, and it has, in The Promised Land, it stars, I can't remember the guy's name, but it's the funny guy with the mustache from Major Dad.
Yeah, I can't remember him.
Yeah. But he was the star in Promised Land as well.
Yeah.
I think it only lasted a season or two on CBS.
Mm.
But this was recorded in December of '97, I believe.
Yeah.
And it has the original commercials with it.
Yeah, I've got a copy of that.
Oh, yes. And then this is... So Billy has his Rugrats Marathon, 8-hour Rugrats Marathon tape that is his prized possession.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's so prized he sometimes sleeps with it. But
that was a secret.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to be careful. This video may get subpoenaed. But this is my prized possession. This is Mickey's Christmas Carol and 5 hours of Shining Time Station episodes. The Mickey's Christmas Carol was taped on December 1st, 1993. With the original commercials.
Mm-hmm.
And another interesting fact is this tape, during Mickey's Christmas Carol, during the airing of it, right afterward, there was a 5-minute featurette about the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
And that's on here as well. And Shining Time Station... It has some GPTV IDs as well.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, you sent me that.
Yeah, now the GPTV IDs were available on YouTube. But thanks to the fine folks at Georgia Public Broadcasting, who shall remain nameless, not mentioning any names, they got taken down, and I got a copyright strike on it.
Ugh.
I was able to go to copyright rehab though and get them taken down. So. Which consisted of about 2 minutes of me going next, done. So I probably shouldn't have said that. I probably should have said I read every screen very carefully and I deeply absorbed all the info I could. Sure. So yeah. Well. Oh, okay. But yeah, that's just some of the tapes that are out. A lot of them pre-recorded. Here's some of the store-bought ones that still remain that I still have.
Yeah.
A lot of VHS tapes that I got rid of back in the early 2000s, which I was an idiot.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, but thankfully there's still a couple of VHS tapes that I kept that are in a tub on the front porch and we're about to go see. So, alright, so now we're in
Undisclosed location.
Yeah, gotta be careful here. And this is just another part of the VHS collection. Some that don't have any labels on the bottom that I need to go through and find out what's on them. I'm pretty sure a lot of these are just Game Show Network tapes.
Yeah.
Back in the day, the Cox Digital Cable had a channel where they would preview their digital cable lineup,
Mm-hmm.
and in each week they would show a different channel.
Yeah.
When Game Show Network would come up, I would stick a VHS tape in the machine and start rolling.
Yes.
And so I got a bunch of GSN, from the early 2000s to late 2000s. This one here is kind of interesting. It says do not tape over. That was before I learned about punching the tab out.
Oh yeah.
But this tape has a part of the Michael Larson episode.
Oh, I remember watching that.
And it was not part of the special. It was not part. They were showing it as in their normal weekday lineup.
Yeah.
So, and I still have part of it. I think it was part one of. It was either part one or part two of that episode on tape.
Yeah.
The other part, I believe, is no longer around. This is the other part of the other half of the VHS vault collection. Whatever. It has tapes that my cousin loaned me to convert that I never got back to her. There's another Barney tape.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and which is in one of these plastic sleeves. And hopefully these are okay. Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
I think was taped off TV.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s or 80s. And some other stuff like CNN at 25, Game Show Network, a few others. Another one about President Clinton. My grandmother loved Clinton, so there's a lot of tapes from her that have Clinton on it. And this tape here.
Oh, wow.
Peter Pan with Mary Martin. My parents got me this, and I refused to get rid of it because it's a collector's item.
Yeah, certainly.
And,
wow.
Yeah, you can see Good Times Platinum Series.
Oh, I remember that company.
Yep. It's prized piece. I'm never getting rid of it. Oh, Peter Pan is proudly sponsored by Raisinets.
1990.
Yeah, I haven't watched this back in a long time. I'm hoping it still works. I think it does.
We'll pray it does.
Yeah. When I'm finally not too chicken to test it. And
Oh yeah, I've got the DVD version of that.
Yeah, so do I. Except I don't have the Easter Beagle.
Yeah, mine didn't come with Easter Beagle either.
Yeah, neither did this one. I bought it later and added it to this. But yeah, and did it come with the inflatable kids chair?
I don't remember if mine did or not. I don't have the tapes anymore, just the DVDs.
To save you the trouble, it was a piece of crap.
Oh.
It only lasted maybe a week before it wouldn't stay inflated. Of course, you know, with my fat bottom, it wouldn't have stayed inflated anyway, so...
Remember, I'm monetized.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's just some of the tapes, and I'm trying to get these converted. I was doing a good job until there was a setting on the VHS player that I received from a friend. I didn't know about one of the settings, so a lot of these I'm going to have to redo.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I really don't mind because, you know, I love old technology. I love a lot of the old VHS tapes.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, a lot of times VHS looks better than DVD.
Yeah, in some cases it does. And there's stuff on VHS you can't get on DVD or anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean...
Especially stuff recorded off TV, that can't be replicated.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch back some of these tapes, you'd be surprised at how good some of the tapes look.
Yeah.
It'd be like you were watching live TV.
I know. Well, here we are. It's our final night together here on our visit to Georgia with Chris Rogers here, and we're here in the Rockin' Waves 11294 studio.
Yep.
And I gotta tell you, this has been a very fun, but also very tiring trip.
Same here, man. It's
yeah.
Oof.
So reason we're doing this part of the video, just a little background, is because one of the biggest inspirations for my YouTube career, just even getting its start years ago, was a guy called Videoholic. He's still around. He's still making videos, but we're leaving that in. We are leaving that in.
Yes. Oh man. Just like that, just like Videoholic and Carrie, they do it live.
Yeah. For those wondering, I've been ripping some of Chris's DVD collection to my laptop over here, and that was DVD decryptor saying it's done. Yeah. So, anyway, Videoholic uploaded all his old videos. He was like the original vlogger. He was making videos like we do here on YouTube back in the 70s. And he had a friend down in Florida called Kerry Decker. May he rest in peace, unfortunately. He, the two of them would get together like me and Chris did. Videoholic would fly down to Florida and visit Carrie, and they would document every bit of the trip, and at the end they would do a recap talking about their trip. And so that's what we're going to do in this video, talking about what we did. So my journey actually started a day before Chris's did. Me and my wife left North Carolina and took a rest stop in Columbia, South Carolina. As you saw in this video, we spent the night there. It's a 6-hour drive from North Carolina down to here, so we decided, you know what, it'd be good just to kind of break it up and make it a little less stressful and just spend the night at the halfway point, which is Columbia SC.
Yep.
So it was a nice little hotel room. Had a great time there. Spent the night there, and then Friday we drove the rest of the way. Made it to Florida for the first.
Florida. The hours are getting late, folks.
Yes.
It's about 11:29. So.
Yeah, when I'm at home, I'm usually in bed by 9. I'm kind of like Weasel 2 HTM in that way, but Georgia. I made it into Georgia for the first time in my life. And I got here to Chris's house probably about 2:30 Friday afternoon. Chris was already out there with his camera recording our arrival.
Saying, what have I gotten myself into?
Yep. By the way, we drove my 2015 Honda Accord down here. It did a fantastic job. We brought our luggage in Friday. And then we were just in a matter of moments. We were already out and about doing stuff.
Well, first I gave y'all the tour and showed y'all like the original Rockin' Wave studio.
Oh,
up the dining room table.
That I first saw when I first met him back in 2010.
Yep. And then showed you the Studio 3 of my old bedroom.
Oh yeah, that's which is now the guest room where my wife and I have been sleeping.
Yep, and then brought you in here.
Yep, and this room is incredible. It's I've never seen this much audio equipment in my life.
And this is not it. It's still going to be changing some, but it's going to take a while because I got to save up for any of the new stuff that I would like to get.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
The next step is either an equalizer or a processor. I haven't decided which.
Gotcha. Yeah. And then we went out and trying to remember.
Went and picked up my wife. Mary.
Yeah, went and picked up his wife. She was working that day. We then went to a thrift store, a hospice thrift store here in Warner Robins.
For those of you that if you don't have hospice in your area, hospice is basically an organization that helps people who are about to pass on more comfortable, I guess. They provide counseling to families and they help basically the terminally ill be comfortable when they pass.
Yeah, they were actually a big help last year. And this is my first time mentioning it here on YouTube. They were a big help to me after my father passed away in November of 2021. So hospice has my full support.
Yes.
But anyway, at the thrift store, my wife found a few things, and I came out with a 15-inch silver LCD monitor from the 2000s that I'm hoping to use when I get back home to on my KVM setup with my beige Windows 98 computer, my Ultimate Windows 9X machine, and my Windows XP machine, which is a black computer, and right now I'm using a beige monitor with it. It kind of clashes with, it doesn't clash with the beige computer, but it does with the black computer, so I figured having a silver LCD monitor would be a nice little neutral option for that. So I'll give that a test when I get back home tomorrow and see if it was worth the $15.
And by the way, folks, if any of y'all are keeping up with the yawns, I am so sorry.
Yeah, it's we've been running on fumes.
Yeah. It's, I mean, on normal weekends, I don't really do all that much, which makes me sound lazy. But yeah, this past weekend it's been very active, but a lot of fun.
Yes, it has. And after we left the thrift store, we went by a pizza restaurant that's local to this area. What was it called?
It's called Your Pie. It's actually a small chain, but it's not like Pizza Hut or Domino chain status, but it's a small little chain.
Yeah, and we brought it, got it to go and brought it back here, and it was actually really, really good.
Oh yeah,
if
they make it in a stone oven,
and you actually watch them put it in too. It was really neat to see.
It's the only place that I can actually get a supreme pizza and actually be able to eat it and like it.
Yeah.
It's they have. I mean, it's the first place that. Because a lot of times, if I go to a pizza place, I get pepperoni only.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
And Your Pie was actually the first and only restaurant I've been able to get something other than pepperoni and enjoy it.
Yes.
So I got a little salad as well, and pizza and breadsticks. So.
And they were good breadsticks. I had a couple of them, but. Yeah, if you're down here in Georgia, I highly recommend them.
And plus, we also went there because they also have gluten-free crust, which was a plus for my wife.
And my wife as well.
Yeah, they both can't have gluten, so...
Yep. And then we came back here and ate our supper, watched a few things online, and then finally a dream come true. We came in here and I got to do a Rockin' Waves 11294 broadcast in person with him.
Which has been a dream for me as well.
Yeah, and now, of course, I've done shows with him in the past, but it was completely virtual.
Yeah.
So this was the first time actually doing it in person.
Yeah, it was. In the past, for long-time viewers, if anybody on Billy's channel actually watched Rockin' Waves,
There's you.
They will remember the Saturday night late night shows that we did.
That would cause me to act like a zombie at church the next morning.
Yeah, and Billy would be on Skype, and I'd be on the air, and he'd be the announcer. It was. If I had to explain it, it would be like the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. He would be the Ed McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like the best way I could explain it. And but yeah, that Friday night. A lot of times in shows I have like a playlist, a set list of songs I would like to play that night. This night I decided, no. We're going to just fly by the seat of our pants.
And it actually went very, very well. It actually went off without a hitch. And
internet cooperated and everything was set up right, and it was good.
And we had a blast doing it.
Yep. If you missed it, you missed a heck of a show that night.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And so... next day, which was yesterday, Saturday, we got up and we immediately got on the road and drove up to Macon.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris showed us around some of the old former locations of various retailers that no longer exist around here. He showed us the Westgate Mall, which...
It surprised me. Between the last time that I went there to check it out and this time, they completely changed it around.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. So if I want to see how it looked like before, I'm just going to have to go to see an old Google Street View, I guess.
or go to my channel.
Oh yeah, he did a video about that a while back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he drove us over to the Macon Mall, which is which at one time was the big mall over in Macon, but
it was one of the largest malls in Georgia, and then they tore down what they added on to it.
That's crazy, but it has unfortunately seen better days. It's, I guess, could be considered, unfortunately, a dying mall, which there's way too many of them out there these days.
Yeah, they're trying to bring it back by adding a amphitheater and a pickleball court.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah.
And but the highlight of Macon Mall for me was seeing the former entrance to the former Belk location at Macon Mall. And normally that wouldn't be that big a deal, but this Belk location was one of two that had this special glass amber entrance. First one being Macon Mall, the second being none other than Carolina Circle Mall. And so I was very excited to see this. It was the first time seeing this kind of entrance since Carolina Circle was torn down in 2005. Even got a picture taken with it. It was really cool to see that.
Oh yeah.
And then we went across the street and got to see the former location of the Macon Discovery Zone, which was really cool because a lot of the original pieces of Discovery Zone were still intact in there, unchanged since the 90s.
Yep, and we actually had a small scare for a second because we had thought that they had renovated it, and they did some small modifications, but not too many, thankfully.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of funny. Billy ran up to the glass to see it, and I'm like, oh, thank God they didn't. Everything's still there.
Yeah, I wanted to get there first just in case the worst had come to pass. I wanted to be able to break it to him gently and him not be shocked.
Go off the deep end.
Yeah. But that was really cool. Of course, as you know, Discovery Zone was a big deal back in the 90s. They had a bunch of them all over the U.S. They even had them up in my area in North Carolina, but unfortunately my mom never let me go there, so I never got to experience it. So this was sadly the closest I got to go to a Discovery Zone, and that was yesterday, and it had been closed since the late 90s.
Yeah, up until a few years ago, they actually still had the sign up that had the prices of admission.
Oh yeah,
to the different areas, but that also was a victim of I guess trying to protect the integrity of the inside of the store. But yeah, they put before one of the doors was actually busted, and you could actually walk up into one of the doors.
Don't do that, by the way.
No. And they've replaced it since. But you could actually walk in one door and go up to the other door that was still locked.
Yeah.
This time, they had replaced the lock. So.
Oh, gotcha, yeah. So, after that, we drove into downtown Macon, and Chris took us on a tour of the local NBC affiliate down in this area, WMGT 41 NBC.
Yep.
And, of course,
I see the new set.
Yep, I got plenty of video footage, which you've already seen. It was the first time being in a major TV studio, or semi-major TV studio, I guess. Not even in my local TV market have I been able to do that. So that was really, really cool to actually see all that stuff.
What's interesting is Macon is known as a starter market,
Mm-hmm.
and what I find mildly funny is a lot of the people that were here in Macon are now in Greensboro.
That's right, yeah.
So it's so yeah, we've experienced them, and then I can tell Billy if they're bad, if they're good, or if they suck.
Yeah,
So.
that's right. And then after that, Chris took us to a really, really good restaurant in downtown Macon called Mike's.
Famous Mike's Burgers, burgers and more, I think, or biscuits and more, or something like that.
Yeah, it was really good.
I just call it Famous Mike's.
A lot of the food there is named after members of the Allman Brothers Band, and I forgot which burger I got, but it was just a basic bacon cheeseburger. I forgot who it was named after, but it was a really, really good restaurant. If you're visiting Macon, Georgia, give them a try. I highly recommend them.
You won't be disappointed. Anything you have there. I've had many different things there, and each thing that I've had is out of this ballpark.
Yes, we were really impressed, as well as my wife. And actually, before we went there, me and Chris walked over to
Yeah.
what was the place called?
It was Capricorn Music.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
yeah, because the recording studio now was right around the corner from 41, and they had renovated it because it had been abandoned for like 30 years almost.
Goodness.
Over 30 years.
Yeah.
And what's cool was the inside of the studio. It looks like it did back in the 70s. And when I went in there in 2014, I was able to gain access in 2014. The studio, after being untouched for many years, it looked amazing. It looked immaculate. Like you walked in, and I know this is crazy, but it's like you could still hear the reverberations of Jessica being recorded. It was pretty awesome, and yeah, unfortunately we couldn't go inside because they were closed that day for a private event.
Mm-hmm.
But the offices for Capricorn were a few streets over, but those we wouldn't have been able to get to because they've been under renovation for like 6 years.
Goodness.
Yeah, the new owner hit a few snags.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we got a couple pictures there.
Yeah, and then after that we went and picked his wife up from work, came back here for a little while, watched a documentary, or just more like an interview with from inside the actor's studio about Robin Williams, which was really funny and really interesting.
Your wife heard a few choice words.
Yeah. But after that, we went out and got some supper, and as I've shown on video, I got to experience Crystal hamburgers for the first time since I was probably about 15, at the latest maybe 16, and it was just as good as I remembered.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they only had one location in my area for just about a year or two, and it was gone, and I was so heartbroken.
Yeah, the fries, they actually improved them a little bit. They didn't have that horrible aftertaste that I remembered from about a year ago.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And so, but yeah, they kind of messed up on the order. We were supposed to get like 3 fries, and we only got 1 fry. So, but I'm enough of a fatty anyway, so I was so I got only a few fries and I gave the rest to Mary and to Billy. So.
And then while we're while we were out, he drove us by the Galleria Mall, which I got some video footage of the outside. It's actually a lively and thriving mall, which is always nice to see. It was a really cool looking mall. I was glad to actually see that in person.
Yeah.
And we got some frozen yogurt as well, which my wife was very happy to get.
Oh yeah.
And
actually got that first, and then went to Crystal.
Yeah. I'm getting things out of order.
Oh, it's all good. We and also I took him by the old House to Mall.
Oh yeah, we did that on Friday, I think.
Yeah, that's that's right. I took him by not only my old church where I grew up, but also by the old House to Mall, which is now part of the medical center.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. But
back to Saturday night.
Yeah, Saturday night we just hung around here and watched some stuff online. It was a very fun night last night. And then today, woke up. Thank goodness, or else I would have been dead.
Yeah, that would have been awkward to tell the coroner.
Yeah. And then today was Sunday, so we went to Chris's church. Got to experience his church. It was a really good little service there. And then Chris took us to a restaurant called Fried Green Tomatoes. As I showed on video, it was cafeteria style in a way, southern cooking, really, really good. If you're in Warner Robins, Georgia, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, my parents, when they come down to visit, we have to make it a point every time to go to Fried Green Tomatoes at some point.
Yeah.
And because it is really, it is Southern style cooking.
Yeah.
And I had the fried chicken as normal, and
as did I.
And had some of the. I usually get mac and cheese and I think mashed cream potatoes.
Oh yeah.
But I decided this time to go for the fried green tomatoes. So and
for their namesake, I guess.
Yeah, and had sweet tea as well, and the sweet teas that we've had this weekend were amazing.
Yes. Well, this is the South.
Yep.
We after that he took us by a place called Buc-ee's, which I had heard about. I have heard legends about that place. I know they're really popular in Texas, but they don't have any where I'm from. And
hi, Graham.
Yeah, hi, Computer Kid 1416. Yeah, he's been there, but they have one over just down the road from where Chris lives. So he took us there. Never seen anything like it. For one thing. It's a gas station with 200 pumps, and they were all full.
Yep.
This place was a madhouse. There were so many people there.
Well, one major reason was, one, it's right near I-75, the main interstate, and plus, it was around 1 o'clock, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so people were just getting out of church. If we had gone about 11, it'd probably be a ghost town. Yeah. Because everybody would have been in church,
but the place itself was enormous. It was a convenience store, but it was it felt like the size of Walmart would be too big, but still, it was really big. Mm-hmm. It was really big. I got a Georgia magnet, so I'm glad to actually be able to take a Georgia souvenir home with me. And it was a really, really cool place, I gotta say.
And what's funny, transporting back to Saturday real quick, there was a festival in downtown Macon, and the people at the restaurant said that it was a beer festival.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out it was record store day.
So we missed out on looking at records.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
That's the way it goes. But yeah, but today we came back here after Buc-ee's, and me and Chris has been spending most of the day in here. He was showing me his VHS collection, and off camera, I got to see his DVD collection, and there's a lot of stuff that I've actually been ripping to my laptop over here I brought from home. Mm-hmm. Some stuff that he has that I didn't have, so I've been I'll be able to have copies of some of that stuff. Most of the stuff it's stuff he's recorded off TV over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad to have some of that. We went and picked up his wife again from work. Went by Steak and Shake, which we have back home, and I got a milkshake.
Yeah, we were still pretty full from fried green tomatoes, so we didn't get much. But
right,
we were a little. It was snacking.
Yeah, really. And then came back here, did some more video stuff in here with DVDs and all that good stuff, and then all of us went over to his cousin who lives next door, and we played some games. In particular, we played
Relative Insanity.
Yep.
Which Jeff Foxworthy, if you happen to watch this video, thank you.
Yeah, it was a fun game. I'm not really into board games and that kind of stuff, but I did enjoy playing that. So
if you're wondering what Relative Insanity is, if you know what Cards Against Humanity is, it's basically that, except Relative Insanity is clean.
Yes.
To an extent. I mean, there's still. Oh, can we cuss? You could do to me what you did to Sean.
Yes, I'll use one of the Windows 95 sounds. But yeah, we had a good time, and then we got back, started on some more DVDs over here, and started making this video, and that's where we are now.
Yeah, 11:57, 3 minutes till midnight.
Oh, golly, I'm usually, this is way, way late for me.
Yeah, but I will say, I mean, y'all picked the perfect weekend to come down. The weather has been magnificent, and not too hot, not too cold.
It's perfect yes. weather, and which is funny because yesterday morning it was actually, according to my phone, it was actually storming back home where I live. So I dodged a bullet coming down here. So it wasn't a major storm or anything. Didn't knock power out or damage anything, but still, it was nice to be a few hundred miles away from that.
And we had a perfect weather week last week, and it continued this weekend. And I think this coming Thursday is our next rain chance.
Okay, gotcha. I think we got some rain chances as well back home this week, so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
So, plan for tomorrow is our return trip to North Carolina. Unlike our trip down here, we will not be spending the night halfway in Columbia, so we're going to be doing the full 6-hour trip all in one going tomorrow, and this is going to be the most I've ever driven at once. So if you're watching this video, it means that I did make it home safely without any moments of insanity. So
at least you don't got to go through Atlanta, because then you would have to add about 3 hours.
Yeah, thankfully our route doesn't take us anywhere near Atlanta, so I'm very, very, very grateful for that.
Yes.
So
Well, Billy, I want to shake your hand to prove that we are here in person. Yep. And I tell you what, man.
This has been one of my favorite trips of all time.
We don't... the next time we see each other, it doesn't need to be 13 years.
Oh, that's right. It took us 13 years to meet in person.
Yep. How about this? I am inviting y'all down next summer. Or this summer, whichever. Because I want to take y'all to Lane's Southern Orchard. Okay. Which is where a lot of the peaches, a big peach orchard. Mm-hmm. And you can even pick your own peaches.
Wow. Huh.
Yep. And
yeah, this is the peach state.
Yep. And yeah, take you there, and a few other places I've wanted to take you, but unfortunately we didn't have time.
Yeah.
For so, and this way you can also have crystals again.
Yes, yes.
I actually funny thing, I made a suggestion yesterday. You know, why not just buy some more crystals and take them home with you? Yeah. And but yeah, 6 hours in a hot car probably would not have.
No, probably not. Yeah. And if anyone from Crystal Corporate is watching, please come back to North Carolina. We missed you.
Well, actually, what happened a couple of years ago, they actually declared bankruptcy. But
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, but apparently they seem to emerge from it.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, they've done a lot better than Kmart and Sears.
Yeah. That's a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
That's a heartbreaker. So, this video's not going to end here. There'll be a couple of clips of us driving home tomorrow. So, this isn't goodbye for me, but this will be goodbye for Chris. Well, that sounded morbid.
Well, I mean, heck, I'm able to be seen on a YouTube channel that has 19,700 more people, more subscribers than my little rinky-dink channel. So, which I think is like 351 right now. But then again, I'm not complaining about the size because I really don't upload as much.
Yeah,
so.
But I still highly recommend you check this guy's channel out, Chrismaster1. He still has some pretty good content, and I highly recommend you check him out.
And check out the secondary channel, which is more popular than the main channel, Chrismaster1.
Yeah, if you like old commercials, but which, like both of us do, go check that out. I recommend that as well.
New commercials every Friday.
All right. So, I guess we'll go ahead and end this portion of the video here. So we'll be saying goodbye to Chris.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting us. We had a blast. So, next part of the video will be us riding home.
Sayonara.
Well, it's Monday and we are headed home. We're in Fort Mill, South Carolina, passing the exit for Carowinds once again, and this time in the opposite direction. And it's been already the longest drive I've ever driven. So, but the reason we're on camera is because we are fixing to cross the state line back home into North Carolina. And also, unfortunately, into Charlotte, which means traffic! Yay! So, over there somewhere is Carowinds. And there's the roller coasters again we saw the other day. So we're almost back in my home state. There's the sign. Welcome to North Carolina. We we are back in the home state. So, yeah, and already we're in traffic. Stereotypical Charlotte, once again, but, anyway, I guess this will have to do it for this video. Once again, I want to thank Chris Rogers for having us over. We had a wonderful, wonderful time, and hope to see you again soon. This is Billy Core, signing off. Thank you for visiting the Nostalgia Mall. If you liked what you saw, please like, subscribe, and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You may also support me on Patreon if you would like. Until next time, this is Billy Core, signing off.